Hello everyone, I am Heeranyaa Nadaraja. My metric number is 23DPT19F1015. Today I would like to present about the industrial training which I had for the past 20 weeks at GMP Medicare Center in Berhad. First, background of the company. GMP Medicare Center Berhad actually located at 3726 Kawasan Perindustrian Nilai, Booking Center, Daerah Seremban, 71800 Seremban, Negeri Sembilan Darul Khusus. Basically, GMP Medicare Sundra Berhad is one of the branch of Top Glove Company. Top Glove has over 50 factories and 25 in Selangor as well as throughout the Peninsula Malaysia and some in Thailand, China, USA, Vietnam, Germany and Brazil. So, GMP Medicare is one of the top glove factory, which also known as Factory 33. In Factory 33, there are 70 production line over 100 workers. GMP Medicare also releases latex examination glove for clinics and hospitals. So this is the company GMP Medicare Central Berhad, also known as Top Glove Factory 33, the company that I used to work for the past 20 weeks. Let me give some introduction to the Top Glove Company. This company was established in Malaysia in 1991 by Tan Sri Dr. Lim Wee Chai, a business venture of one factory, one glove production line, and over 100 staffs. Top Glove has since merged the world's largest glove manufacturer, which controls over 26% of the world market share. Top Glove also aims to increase its global market share to 30% by end of 2020 and became a Fortune Global 500 company by 2040. Besides, here we are having the mission, vision, and direction of Top Glove. The mission of the Top Glove is to ensure safe human protection globally. The vision of the Top Glove is to be your world-class partner in gloves and healthcare products. The direction of the Top Glove is to provide convenience to customers in relation to medical related matters by providing a variety of high quality products such as medical gloves and condom for health facilities. Next, Top Glove core value: respect, integrity, value, empowerment, and relationship. So the short form of these values are we known as RIVER. Business ethics of the Top Gloves is honesty, integrity, and transparency. Moreover, these are the five wells that each and every staff in the Top Glove will follow, which are clean well, eat well, work well, sleep well, and exercise well. Let's talk about the organization chart in Factory 33. Here we go. These are the staffs who are currently working in Factory 33 in several departments such as Boiler Department, Former Department, QA Department, RASM Department, Compounding Department, Production Department, Warehouse Department, and so on. So here he is the Tan Sri Dr. Lim Wee Chai, the founder of Top Glove Company, and here is Puan Hasnira, the person who in charge in Factory 33. So basically in the QA department, there are three divisions known as PQC, MQC, and IPQC. The PQC refers to the product quality control, MQC refers to the material quality control, and IPQC refers to the in-process quality control. And I was assigned as a trainee QA under MQC, which is known as material quality control. MQC is the work that usually done in the laboratory. This is my department, QA department in F33. He is the manager of QA department, Mr. Wong and Yao. He also being manager for three factories, F33, F9, and also F27. So here we go. There are three departments under QA department: PQC, MQC, and IPQC. I was under MQC and she is my supervisor, my primary supervisor, Miss Chin Suklen. She is a chemist and I was under her. She's the one who provide me works throughout this internship. And these are the two QA supervisors, Mr. Jananathan and Mr. Kogilan. And she was Madam Nur Soraya, the HOD of this QA department. What are the main responsibilities of being a QA person in this factory? Um, Basically, the gloves which are manufactured in the production line will be sent to the packing department to pack into a inner. About 100 gloves will be packed into inside one inner, and it will be sent to a QA department. You can see here is the production department. They will send it to the packing department. After the packing department pack the glove, it will send to the QA department into the three divisions, PQC, NQC, and IPQC. So in MQC, we will be testing aging test, tensile testing, pinhole, and so on. So in in the QA department, in the NQC lab, I assign to record all the test records and update into the Excel. So once the inspection what's the going on, the inspection people will ask the records from me, and I will be the one who's sending to them. So moreover, I'm the person who also assigned to do all those tests that I mentioned before, which is aging test, tensile test, pinhole test, and so on. In the QA, in the quality assurance inspection, if the gloves has been passed, it will be passed through to the warehouse for the shipment. If the glove has been failed, it will be rework stage on the rejection during the inspection, and the rework stage will continue until the glove is passed to be sent to the warehouse department. In the MQC lab, I was assigned to do a hot and cold aging test, calcium metric test, acid and alkalinity test, moisture content test, solution preparation, powder level test for the powder and powder free gloves, pinhole test, incoming latex and alkalinity test, tensile test, heat and chemical stability test, and PPP upload. All these works was assigned to me to do all the time by my supervisor, Miss Chin Suklun. So first, hot and cold aging test. Basically, our gloves, we will be sending to the country which is having summer weather, and we're also sending the gloves to the country which is having cold weather, winter, snow, like that. So we have to do a hot and cold aging test to get to know the gloves stickiness, whether it is sticky or not, and we also need to consider the discoloration of the glove. So um, there are two different procedures for the hot and cold aging test. For the hot aging test, we will take one inner of the glove, and we will be placing it at into the oven at 100 degrees Celsius for 2 hours. And after the 2 hours, we take out the glove from the oven, and we will be check on the glove whether it is sticky or there is any discolor, like turning the white color of the gloves into yellow. And then for the cold aging test, we will be take one inner of the glove, and we will be placing into the weather chamber. This is known as the weather chamber. We will place it inside one inner of glove into the weather chamber, and here we will be operating it for 22 hours at 10 degrees Celsius. So this is the weather chamber to make the glove into to bring the glove into the cool weather to test the stickiness and the discoloration as well. Then calcium metric test, we also known as CN test. This CN test we used to do for the latex and coagulant, which is the main material that used to produce glue. So I was always assigned to do this calcium metric test to get to know the concentration of the latex and coagulant as well. And once if I found out that it is having a high concentration, I immediately will inform to my supervisor, and my supervisor will pass the information to the production office to take the note the coagulant and latex tank which is running in the production line. And acid and alkalinity test as well, it is also involved titration. And for the common thing in this acid and alkalinity test was the indicator, which is known as phenolphthalein. In the acid test, the the pink solution will turn into the colorless, and in the alkalinity test, the colorless solution will turn into the pink. And here, moisture content test. Moisture content test. The procedure for the moisture content test, we will take about 5 pieces of glue, we will make it into the ball, and we will place it into the oven for 1 hour at 100 degrees Celsius. After 1 hour, we take out the glue, and we will start measuring the weight of the glue using a balance using electronic balance. So we will measure ball, the glove ball before and after the oven, and then we start calculating it to get to know the moisture content inside the glove. And solution preparation. Basically in lab there will be a lack of solution or some of the solution will be might be used up. So I as a trainee QA, I always take note the lack of solution, and I will be doing the solution preparation for the staffs and workers as well, such as uh, calcium carbonate solution, sodium chloride solution, hydrochloric acid, and so on. So there are several pictures for me to show you my work. So this is the one inner of the glove. Inside this one inner there will be 100 gloves. So it is compulsory for us to label the date and the time before we keeping it into the oven and the weather chamber. And here this is the conical flask and the solution that I have done for the calcium nitrate test. So basically in that calcium nitrate test, the pink solution will be turned into the blue as shown in this picture. And here, this is the one of the example that I've done solution preparation in the lab. And it is also compulsory for us to label the name of the solution and the prepared date on the cover of this solution. Besides, I also assigned to do powder level test for the powdered and powder-free gloves. Uh, Basically, in F33, we produce powdered and powder-free gloves. The powder gloves will looks flat and smooth. The powder-free gloves looks rough and non-smooth. So it is very important for us to do a powder level test every day, and I was assigned to do this test every day and upload the results into the Excel for the HQ people to overlook our results. Because top group usually will have powder level validation, and then they always interest on this powder level test and the results for each and every factory. Um, this is the powder level test, which how I used to do. In this powder level test, I take one glove and I will pour about 250 ml of distilled water inside the glove, and I will pour about 500 ml of water outside of the glove into the conical flask, and then I will place it into the orbital shaker at 150 rpm for 45 seconds. After the 45 seconds, I will pour the distilled water inside the glove and outside the glove into a beaker, 100 ml of beaker, and then these steps will continue. I will repeat these steps for all the next four gloves. For usually for the powder level test, we take about five gloves from each line. So after the five gloves, the powder test for the five gloves, I will be filter the remaining water using a filter paper. So for the filter paper, before we filter, we will measure the weight of the filter paper, and after the filtration has done, I will keep the filter paper into the oven at 100 degrees Celsius for 1 hour. And after the 1 hour, I measure the weight of the filter paper again. And I and then I just key in the data, the weight of the filter paper before and after the filtration. And then I will calculate it using the formula which is in the procedure. And then I will update the data into the Excel. So this is the example of the powder level test. And pinhole test. Pinhole test, they usually will have a blower into the inside the table. So I will keep the the glove or the blower, and after the glove blow up, we can see whether there is any hole inside the glove or not. And we also can check stickiness using this pinhole test. And incoming latex alkalinity test. So this test is usually done by the staffs, but because of the lack of manpower, I have done this test too. Uh, I use the procedure to do this test and with the guidance of my supervisor. So here we can see this is also a kind of titration method. This is the latex, the incoming latex. So this incoming latex returns color from white into light pink. And here you can observe the color of the latex. It is not in white. So this is the test after the complete of the titration. In this tensile testing, we use three types of cutter, which is known as ASTM, EN, and ISO. These three cutters are three different sizes. The ASTM is the bigger size, EN is in the medium size, and ISO is the smaller size. So this is the shape of the ISO cutter. So we take a glove, we cut the glove into this size, And then we place this glove, the cutted glove, inside the machine between these two edges. And then I will be operate the machine to make it start. And then once the machine starts, the upside edges will goes upwards. And then when the time it goes upwards, the glove will get elongate and it will break when the time when at the force activate. So the machine there's a software known as a QA, and that software will record the tensile strength, the elongation in percentage, and force at break into the software. So I, as a trainee, I need to do this. I have to cut the glove into these pieces, and then I have to keep it into the machine, and I have to operate the machine. And my supervisor really very concerned about it because this test results is very very important for the QA inspection. And then heat and chemical stability test. Heat and chemical stability test usually test for the latex, and it will also use several chemicals. And we also there are a lot of uh, temperature and standard points to do this test. And I use the procedure to do this test every week. And then DPP upload. This is the main key in this laboratory work because TPP basically is the record of each and every test which we will be doing in the lab. So this is because of the audit purpose. So we save all this data and results of the each test, and we will be upload into the software known as TGNAS, which only used by the coupler. And then we also use to upload. Actually, I also used to upload into Google Drive. Apart from the work that I have done in the laboratory, I also used to study several topics with the guidance of my supervisor. The first study I was studied in the lab was cloud point test. Basically, cloud point is the characteristics of the non-ionic surfactant. Why it is the characteristics of the non-ionic surfactant? Because an ionic surfactant are more water soluble than the non-ionic surfactant. Meanwhile, ionic surfactant will have much higher cloud points, such as above 100 degrees Celsius, which is impossible for us to do into the laboratory. The main purpose that I want to try this cloud point test is because of Cerasurf 3320. Because Cerasurf is the one of the non-ionic surfactant which is insoluble, and it's the one of the material that top glove used to produce gloves. So because of that, I was so interested in this experiment, and I did it. I done it in the lab with the guidance of my supervisor. Let me briefly explain the procedure of this experiment. I measure about 5 grams of the solar surf and pour it into the about 250 ml of beaker, and I also pour about 100 ml of distilled water into the beaker, and I place the beaker on a hot plate at the medium stirring rate, at the medium temperature. Uh, and then I immediately take out the beaker once I immediately switch off the hot plate and take out the beaker once the solution turns cloudy. And then I immediately place a thermometer inside the solution. I record the temperature of the thermometer once the solution turns from the cloudiness into a clear solution. And that was known as cloud point, the cloud point of the Celsius T320. So the main purpose of this experiment is to determine the cloud point of the non-ionic surfactant or wetting agent such as the Celsius T320. I did this experiment 3 times with the same procedure to get to know the average cloud point. Because we won't get the correct actual cloud point reading on the first experiment itself. So that's why I did 3 times. And end of this experiment, I did a full solid report and I sent it to my supervisor and to my QA HOD as well. Moving to my next, Moving to my next study was the standard test method for the rubber chemical, which is the determination of the person's sulfur by extraction. I also personally interested in sulfur because sulfur also is one of the material that used to produce glove in top glove. Moreover, sulfur also has the beautiful function known as vulcanization system, which is the system that used to connect each and every particles inside the latex, and in order to make the glove to be flat and not sticky. So the purpose of this experiment is to determine the solvent insoluble material and the percentage of the insoluble sulfur in the sulfur sample content directly. And the importance of the toluene is because toluene is the solvent because it is less toxic and the less volatile than the other chemicals such as carbon disulfate. For the additional information, in my lab, we don't have carbon disulfate because it is more toxic when compared to toluene. So I use toluene in the replacement of carbon disulfate. Moreover, toluene also used for the research and development purposes. So this is the picture of the inside the beaker. This is the picture of the side view of the beaker. So here I place about 5 gram of sulfur inside the beaker, and I pour about 200 ml of toluene into the beaker. And then I place a magnetic stirrer inside the beaker and place it into the hot plate to have a medium stirring and at a medium uh, temperature. And after the solution have been stirring, I pour the, the solution, the mixture into the three different filter papers to get to know which filter paper was good to filter the sulfur into the percentage. In a nutshell, throughout this internship period, I have built an excellent communication skills among the workers, staffs, and with my supervisor. Moreover, I also built self-confidence in myself during this internship period while having a lot of tests in the lab. Moreover, I also learned time management skills in this internship opportunity. For instance, at the beginning of the internship, I used to do titration a lot for the CN titration and acid and alkalinity titration. At the beginning, the time take for me to complete the one titration is high. When the time I was keep on doing and practice more, at the end of my internship, I used to learn more titration skills on it, and I also uh, managed to reduce my time for doing the titration. Last but not least, this internship also is a good opportunity for us to practice some of the knowledge studied during the study section at Polytechnic. For example, in semester 4, there is a subject Industrial Biotechnology, and in that subject, I used to study about the main responsibility of the quality assurance. And here, I also work as a trainee of the quality assurance, and it gave me some um, more theoretical and practical experience on that particular subject which I used to study in Polytechnic Milan. Next, comments and suggestions. Basically, GMP Medicare is a suitable place to gain more experience, and it is. I also has some recognized and supporting supervisors throughout my journey. As a biotechnology student, it is very easy for me to adaptable to the laboratory environment of that particular factory, and I also learn more about the duties of a QA. Suggestions. I would like to give one suggestion to traveler, to the GMP Medicare as well, that would not pass on the work of the staff to the interns. For an example, uh, I also had DPP, which I mentioned before. I have to do and complete the DPP and upload the DPP each and every day. But actually, it was not the work of a trainee QA. It was the work of the staffs in the lab. But I used to do that every day because of lack of manpower in that particular company. So I would like to suggest the popular to have more manpower to do their work accordingly and neatly. So that's the only suggestion from me. Next, question and answer section. Any questions? That's all from me. Thank you for your time.